The NeuroDADverse podcast is produced by Squid Shack Studios.
Hey, I'm Ben.
And I'm Dan.
We're both fathers,
We're both married.
and we're both raising kids with diagnosed neurodiverse conditions.
Parenting is tough, and we're not saying it's harder for us, just different.
And sometimes that different can be hard to explain.
That's why we've created the NeuroDADverse, a weekly show where we share our wins, our challenges, and all the neurosparkly and neurospicy bits in between.
Our hope is to create a safe space for parents to share their own highs and lows of neurodiverse parenting. And just to remind you of three things.
You're doing great,
You are enough.
and you're definitely not alone.
So welcome to the NeuroDADverse. Hi, and welcome to the NeuroDADverse. It's the podcast for, about, and definitely by parents of neurodivergent children. If you're new to us, hello, welcome. I'm Ben. This is Dan. We're going to talk about our wins and challenges of parenting neurodivergent children. We're going to look ahead to what our weeks might unfold next week, and we'll reveal some bath time scores. Good evening, Danny. How are you?
Yeah, good evening. All good, all good. Can't believe how dark it is now.
Yeah, it has. I went to pick Mabel up yesterday. She'd gone out to meet a friend, and she was like, "Oh, it's about 5 o'clock, okay?" I was like, "Yeah, sure." Picked a place to meet her. And then just was getting ready to go, thinking, "Oh, I'll take a jumper, take a jacket. What should I do?" Have a look at the weather. And then what struck me as I looked at the weather app on my phone was sunset, 4:15. I was like, "Oh, maybe I'll change the place I'm meeting her because it's dark." But anyway, so yes, it is winter. Lots to be said about that. But yeah, that's good. We had a midweek pod exclusive when you sent me that little note that you got in Frankie's book, where it was like, had a good lunch, blah blah blah, something about cake. Can't wait to see you tomorrow to talk about progress. And I immediately messaged back, is that a parents' evening that you did not mention on the pod? I was like, emergency announcement. So I know that you had a parents' evening, but maybe that will come into our week in 3 words. It was a fun thing for me to be comically annoyed that you hadn't mentioned it on the pod.
We all know, if you're a long-term listener of the pod, that I can be a bit sketchy in that part segment of the pod. And I was so confident I'd literally gone through every day and like, yeah, this is what we're doing. Totally forgot that we did have a parents' evening 2 days after going back to school from half term. So yes, that might be discussed for sure.
Okay, cool. Week in 3 words. I'm going to kick off right off the bat and make this a bit quicker by going futures, family, and trust.
Okay, nice. I've got elation, decompression, and pride.
Oh, nice. I like. Okay, so what might go into my week this week, my wins and challenges, is that we had, it's my first week back at school, so it just slightly changes the dynamic, of course. Mabel's have a couple of solo outs. So as I was just mentioning, organising pickup times with her. It's also involved them having a sleepover, both of the kids having a sleepover at my mum's on Friday. So quite a few transitions and a bit of organisation for that. Excuse me. And, which may come into my wins and challenges, a live experiment where Mabel normally has a bath after I've done Oscar's bath. But I have asked if she wouldn't mind doing that now, because it felt like she was in a mode to be getting ready for bed. So as pod is happening, I have asked Mabel to get in the bath. I don't know if that's going to be a win or a challenge, but there we go.
Oh, okay. Well, looking forward to the live updates. See,
Yeah, we'll
how that
see.
goes. So if there's interruptions in today's broadcast, you've already been forewarned. There we go. Nice bit of
I
storytelling there.
could give some nudges, but maybe we'll just push the independence. I don't know.
Amazing. Okay. Myself. So my week included going back to school, but we had an inset day on the Monday. my best friend come back to the UK for a week from being in Canada. We had a surprise parents' evening. Wasn't a surprise to Amy because she knew about it, but I had forgot about it.
I like if they did those. Do you remember they used to do
Yeah.
they said, "We'll do surprise inspections, just turn up in your car park." Quite like if we as parents could just do that and just turn up. Sorry, go
Yeah.
on.
No, you'd be like, by the way, Mr. Icott, you need to come into school tomorrow because we're going to
Oh,
have a parents' evening.
if they came round and knocked on your house, "By the way, hello, teacher's here." That'd be
Amazing.
funny.
And then fireworks night.
Ah, yes, yes. That was one of Mabel's, solo outs with some friends too.
Nice.
So, cool, exciting. Well, let's dip into the challenges, shall we? As we always tend to.
Was that bath related text there dipping into? No? Oh,
Oh,
no, just
maybe.
me.
No,
Maybe I
no,
was
it's
just
fine. Should we
just
dip
thought,
into
yeah.
I'm quite happy to have a live update right now.
It's like great use of language there.
Okay, hold on.
Are we going to follow the same format of challenge, win, win?
I
think
don't
that's
know. Yeah, I think we'll go challenge, we'll win.
okay.
But I might have to, wait and see. There you go. I've inquired about what is occurring with the Cut Alive challenge.
Was that what are you doing, or are you doing what I said, or how did you approach it?
mm,
When you get when you're trying to get that kind of update, how do you approach it?
so we had a conversation. I'm not sure if she took the information in or not, but I'm tending to not be in a labouring. I'm not going to labour the point because it sounds like nagging. So she either has or hasn't received that information, and I've just asked as if she doesn't. I didn't ask. So I said, "Are you popping in the bath now?"
Nice.
So we'll see.
No, that's
So yeah, that's my I'll be honest, that's my ongoing challenge right now because it's totally fine if Mabel doesn't have a bath. Without the structure of me going, could you do this? What do it and when then? Supplying her with a towel. But I thought, let's push it and let's see what we can do. I think there's a bit of me that's thinking 15, Mabel's 15 now, and because of this neurodivergent, neurodiverse tendencies that we are seeing, and we're going through a pathway, still awaiting that appointment. I thought, well, she probably needs to have more of those trying to get something done in a blind panic because they're late or they'd forgotten to do it. But it's really tough to be a parent and just allow that to happen. So I guess that's what's happening in a small way now. But it's not my main challenge. My main challenge is around fireworks. Mabel, well, fireworks, just fireworks, and so I had two main solo outs. So she went out on her own to meet her friends and go do a thing. So we had agreed and arranged pickup times because we don't really like. I don't really want to. I just want her to know that if anything else, if things go wrong, I don't have to be like tracking where she is on her phone and finding her, or if she feels like she has forgotten everything or doesn't have battery on her phone or whatever, like as a specific place. And on Wednesday she went to the fireworks locally, just somewhere, and met some friends. And this is one of those challenges where it's kind of about me. I was really quite concerned and anxious to make sure that she was there when I said and where I was. I took Oscar with me to pick Mabel up. We don't really go to for a while. We haven't been to firework displays. It's a bit much, and I don't really think it's the fireworks. I think it's the crowds, the cold, the wanting to have comfort for O. They'd quite happily, but they do like driving around and looking at them going off as you're driving around. So I thought that would be fun. So we kind of get there, but as we get there and pull up and we kind of park and walk into where Mabel is. Mabel calls and goes, oh, is it okay if I get chips? And I was like, yeah, of course. Where you get chips and then meet us at the meat place. But we're still at the meat place, and it just becomes an environment that's not okay for Oscar because police officers, police sirens, not a fire truck, an ambulance. I don't think these are all related to the firework thing. It just happened to be, and it's near a train station, and there's
Just
lots
sod's
of
law.
people, like
Yeah.
everyone walking back from the fireworks, right? You know what that's like, and then coming in and out, and there's a couple of pubs around there. So, and it's about 8 o'clock, so it's all getting a bit busy, and Oscar's kind of like hiding in a doorway a little bit, and I was. And Mabel wasn't there when we said, and I was just kind of like, "Oh, where is she?" And it was just, it just took a lot for me to kind of calm down and go, "She's just in the chip shop. She's just in the chip shop.
And it's a busy time.
It's probably
Yeah.
packed."
Mm.
So we popped down. We saw her in the chip shop. I was like, "Okay, fine." But then she came out of the chip shop, couldn't find the friends who she was going to split chips with. Then there was a whole kind of, should we go home? Oh no, I really need to do this because I said I'd. She was really like determined. I said I'd get chips and eat them with my friends. So can I just go and give them to my friends, please? And I was just like, yeah, go. We'll be here. And then Oscar was a little bit like, I'd like to go and meet Mabel's friends and have chips. And I was like, I, d- I don't. That's great, but I don't really know. There's a lot going on. So I was determined yesterday when I went to pick her up that I was just going to be much more chill about it because I didn't get angry or upset. I was just really like high levels of anxiety, and I don't think that was the best because it should have just been, yeah, fine, have your chips, go with your friends.
Is
I'll
that
meet you.
because you had Oscar with you though? Is it because you're like anxious because of how they are potentially going to
I
deregulate if
I
you're
think
there for too long?
Mabel. I think I've also got some anxieties about Mabel's impulsive nature, and so I don't know what that means or what that looks like.
So you had two kind of things
15.
happening at the same
Yeah,
time.
yeah. And they usually like most of the time, like 90% of the time, they're two kids I can rely on to go to do a thing and then be in a place where, do you know what I mean? So it kind of, when it doesn't fall like that, I kind of
Mm.
sometimes go into overdrive a little bit, and be concerned about things. So yesterday I was much more, I'll meet you there, take time, say goodbye to your friends, come meet me, I'll be in the coffee shop. Which was much better. So kind of win and challenge and win really, because challenge
Yeah.
was like, it was concerning on what was Wednesday, but then yesterday evening, I picked her up. I'd learned a lot in that 1 week of just like, if you can just have the time and just be patient
Mm-hmm.
and not want to rush things. I think
Yeah.
it's because it was a school night too, but like it was
Right.
still fine.
No, I was gonna say, do you think it's also because you just said like you was in a coffee shop, so you're already in a more controlled, easier, relaxed
Mhm.
environment. You've also got
Mhm.
something to take your mind off it because you've got a drink and yeah.
Yeah, in hindsight, I'd have said, "Listen, we're parked up in the car, and Oscar and I would listen to music and watch the fireworks." I think there was just such amount of people that I thought,
Well, it's a one-off annual event, isn't it? So it's kind of
yeah, yeah,
like
yeah,
it's the
yeah. So
the stuff that comes with it.
not a massive challenge. I will just update you on the ongoing one. I have no text message response. So maybe that means she could be in the bath. Might have to tune in next week to find out if
If she's listened to
that
you.
challenge. Yeah, yeah, it's fine.
Love that. I'm not
Cool.
sure if you.
What?
It's funny when you sort of like kids. I'm not sure if they actually heard what I just said / told them to do. It's life of
Yeah,
being a parent.
that is. It has taken a long time for me to go, I'm not sure. And that means there's 50% chance they did hear me, but didn't respond. 50% chance they didn't hear me. In that scenario, I can make things 100% worse by repeating myself.
And getting the same answer. Yeah.
Just going away and coming back and going, are we good on that? Are we good on doing the thing I asked? What did you ask? Oh, I can, like, it's about that. I've said it before. Just remaining calm. It's like, so maybe a teaching profession has prepared me for it.
Oh, we're getting live noise updates.
There's some footsteps.
Okay.
Oh, don't know. Sorry. Um, yes. So what's your challenge, my friend?
So my challenge this week, I've got I've got one main challenge, but I also want to just discuss a scenario of sodlordery that happened, as always, when it's just not the most optimal time for things to happen. It wasn't a It didn't ruin anything per se, but just to a snapshot into the life or that we lead when sensory things and a couple of things just roll against you, just be like, for God's sake, how did we end up here? Kind of vibe. So
Mhm.
I'll start with my challenge. So we've just come out of half term, and
Yeah.
Monday was an inset day. Amy was also off because because of work holidays and stuff. She had to work all of the half term, so it was just me and Frankie solo parenting and doing activities. So we were looking forward to. I think I said it on the last pod. Actually, we were going to go to the Discovery Centre in
Yeah.
Stratford. Long story short is we didn't get to go. Partly, I think so. One of my 3 words was decompression. I think Monday was basically Frankie's decompressing from having a week of sporadic fireworks because of Diwali celebrations at the start of the week,
Mhm.
and then we had half term and we had roadworks all literally Sunday to Saturday. We had roadworks and different noises and stuff happening out in the street. So he has been quite overstimulated most of that week, as I said last week. And on Monday, he just told us through his body language and a little bit of Francanese that he talks that he just didn't want to get dressed into going out he clothes. We tried on and off for about an hour and a half. We had booked a session at which you did say, well, trying to be somewhere for midday, that's a big pressure.
Yeah.
And we just looked at each other and was like, did the classic, one of the great sort of learnings from this pod that's come out of this, when you say, "Who's it for?" I'm like,
Yeah.
today is a family day
Who's
where we do stuff for Frank. So we set a
Oh,
plan
for
because
well,
we thought we'd do it.
for all of you
Yes, but the activity
with
is obviously based
yeah,
for Frank.
whilst
So
whilst meeting his very specific needs.
needs, yeah. So we decided after about an hour and a half, we just looked at each other and was like, "Shall we just not go?" And Amy was like, "Yeah." I said, "Sorry that I felt a little bit sad for Amy in the sense that obviously not being off on a half term, we had quite a lot of social wins despite the constant overstimulation and a little bit of dysregulation. That now that the road's completely quiet, it's completely clear. The school that is based off of the road that we live on as well, they were on an inset day, so there was just no hustle and bustle in the street at all. So he was just super chilled. Um, we just thought it's not worth the why stress him out? Like, we've got
Yeah,
to get him out of the house, then we've got to get on the
of
train,
course.
we've got to get on a bus, on a DLR, go into Stratford, and then we could do all of that even if he was completely happy and cooperative, to use a couple of words, and he might not even want to go in. So he just thought there's no point in rocking the boat. So I said, because we'd set up the bag, we had a picnic. I went, should we just have a picnic in the living room? And Amy was like, yeah, let's do that. We got the picnic blanket out, put it down, and he sat right next to us and was like, oh my God, look at all this food on the plates. I mean, we had a really nice time. So
Yeah, of course.
again, challenge turning into a win.
Of
We did
course.
have a nice afternoon. I got a nice little selfie. He sat there eating all the crisps and his sandwiches and whatever else, but he got to do it in his pajamas. We got the
Of
pajamas
course.
back out and he went, dress me. And he got dressed straight away. So it was quite clear that he was just telling us he didn't want to go out, which he had shown signs of towards the end of last week. That I did say we just didn't go out for the last couple
It
of days of the
seems
week because he was
it
done.
and it seems like home's really safe for him,
Mhm.
right? As it is, I think a lot of neurodivergent kids, like, it's the transitions that are the issue and the unknown. The things that are constant are safe, and except it hasn't been as safe in the past week because
Yeah.
light is different,
Yep.
noise is very
Still different.
different.
Mm.
I don't regularly get up and go. There's no bus this week.
Mm.
So yeah, that sounds okay, mate. Like, it doesn't, you're trying to plan things. It would be different if you had not planned to do anything and then on the day were like, well, we really should have done something today. That's
Yeah, which
that's a
we've done in the
that's a
past. I
that's
think
a
you've all
negative.
done it.
Yeah, it's a negative energy. Nobody enjoys feeling that way. But you have to be kind
Yeah.
to everyone. But yeah,
I
picnic in the front room. It sounds great.
Yeah, he really enjoyed it, and we'll do it again. So Frankie does like eating. It's one of his things. It makes him feel safe. It's how he regulates. So he started showing a lot of interest in afternoon tea stuff, which I think I would have said back in the summer. He would just get all the afternoon tea bits out the cupboard. So we'd sit down and have sandwiches and a bit. We've always
Amazing.
got cake of some description because Frankie is like 12% cake. He eats cake literally every day.
Nice.
So yeah, that was just sort of the challenge that like we planned the one sort of family day and it didn't quite go to plan, but it went a different way and it was perfectly okay. But I just felt a
Yeah,
little
totally.
bit sad that it was, Amy's day with him and he was just destroyed. But it was nice that he used that day to sort of chill out and then he went back to school and he's been okay in getting back into that routine.
Sometimes the glory with thinking about neurodivergent kids, certainly with Oscar, is kind of sit and reflect and go, it's quite nice because they've had quite a nice day because they
They did the day they wanted.
I'm trying to not make it um ableist, but they kind of underthink it. Whereas I think certainly adults overthink. Oh, we got all this man and we didn't do that, and just
He knew no
they
different.
that yeah exactly
Yeah.
yeah yeah
Yeah. So that was
right.
it's not the worst
It's
sort
good.
of challenge in the world, but that was kind of the big challenge because we was
Also,
looking forward
sounds
to
like
trying that.
you and Ames were on the same page about it.
Yeah, we kind of knew that
Yeah.
because when we tried booking that, we didn't necessarily know the roadworks were happening. I don't think so. It kind of is what it is, but we will try that activity another day and when we
Yeah, of
haven't had a
course.
week of roadworks. And then I just wanted to talk a little bit about the sod's lottery that we ended up in yesterday. So we go to the one of our local gyms, do a send session. We go there most Saturdays. Frankie loves it. Gymnastic equipment gets around. Blah, blah,
Yeah,
blah.
yeah.
So we get the cab about 12:15 because it's 11:30 till 2. Everything's going all right. He's dressed. He's happy. We're ready to go. We told him we're going to the gym. We get to we're literally about 400 meters away on the road down the high street, and then there's just a load of traffic that comes out of nowhere. The sat nav didn't warn there was particular traffic or anything, and we're sitting there for a long time. And then the cab driver said, "Oh, this must be the traffic." When he come through, there's a one-way system, and someone had a car burnt out on the road on this one-way system. If you were going to try and stop this particular high street from functioning correctly, this is where you put this car. So the police were there and they blocked the road, so we couldn't go into the car park and round to where we needed to go. And the traffic was just piling up all the way down the high street, all the way out of nowhere. And Frankie was starting to get a little bit uneasy because we went a slightly different way to go to the gym because the sat nav obviously said this way was quicker, but it's not the way we usually go. So he was kind of getting a little bit like, he was letting me know that he knows that we're going a different route. And then we were sitting in traffic for about 10 minutes. So that the session has now started, but at this point, and we're like, okay, let's just see. And then we were trying to go over a lane, but we couldn't because obviously it's busy. And the driver was just slowly creeping forward, and was like, then we could see it was actually a police car blocking the road, and was like, God, how long is this going to be like this for? Because obviously he's starting to get a bit antsy and a bit deregulated because he doesn't understand what's going on. We don't necessarily know what's going on, but we made the decision to go. It's kind of like a giant circle, if we just think of it like that, with lots of other junctions coming off of it. So we were right by a petrol station, and you go between the petrol station and this car park to a supermarket, and you go all the way around, and that's where we go. So on the opposite side of the road is another supermarket and a row of shops and a car park. And I said, we can't really stop and get out on the main road, especially when you've got actual police officers walking around and police cars. They're probably going to go, you shouldn't be doing this. So he said, just go round, drop us there, and we'll walk across the road because everything is shut down. We're not getting out in a road. We're not jumping out where we shouldn't be. We will just cross the road because we can. Driver's like, okay. He kind of gone too far at this point. We had no choice but to either go completely round again and get even further back in the traffic, or we try this. So I said, let's try this. We got round into this other car park. He dropped us right where we said. As we got out, shut the doors, the police just opened the road again. And then we just had non-stop traffic for
You
half an
couldn't cross
hour.
the road.
Couldn't cross the road. The nearest crossing was in the middle of two crossings, but one of the crossings we've never crossed that, so he wouldn't know. And the other one was walking against the oncoming traffic, And it was constant buses, lorries, vans, all the noisy
Noise,
vehicles you'd get on
yeah.
the road. So every time we went to hold him, he would obviously like duck down and not want to do it. So we just stood at the corner basically, and he was happy to be there. But I can see the building we want to be in. I took a picture of
Oh,
over his shoulder, going, "That's where we want to go. Can't get there." And I was like, "What do we do?" We tried, and we just left him and let him regulate. It was like, "Okay, it is what it is." But we're like, "It's nearly half an hour of the session gone now. What do we do?" So we had to order another cab basically to take us not 50 meters, but we had to go all the way
oh,
around the
yeah.
one-way system because it's a one-way to get there. And he's just like, "Well, there's another 7, 8, 9 quid literally to take us across the road." But it was the only way we could do it because he was too unsure / sensory overload to walk maybe 30, 40 meters to go back to the crossing. We would have walked across had we have got the bus there, and he would have understood the journey. We were just on the wrong side of the road. So it was just kind of those sod's
Did
law that there was a car there, sod's law that the driver had
yeah.
dropped us in a place, and sod's law that the traffic all opened up. And if we'd have stayed still for 2 minutes, everything would have been fine. And we just lost 40 minutes of activity because a mixture of the driver and us made a
Seem
decision to do something because we didn't want to upset him. And technically
seems
we did
like a
upset him once, but it was just frustrating. So
seems like quite a win for him to be relatively regulated, standing on the side of a busy road with lots of trucks, buses.
yeah,
Do you know
he
what I
was.
mean?
Yeah,
Like not
it's
still frustrating because
yeah,
you not regulated enough to be able to go, I can deal with this noise, I want to go there.
yeah.
But
It's not like, not trust is probably not the right word, but he wasn't confident enough to listen, or he just didn't understand what we were trying to tell him. Like, take our hand, we cross the road, we go to gym because it's literally there. We just couldn't get to it because it's a 3-lane wide one-way system just before an entrance to
yeah.
two busy
Did you
supermarkets and a petrol station.
yeah.
It was
But
just sod's law.
you got there and had some of the session?
Yeah, yeah. We ended up
Cool.
ordering a cab, which was a 10-minute wait because of
Yeah.
the backlog of the traffic caused. We literally drove round and we said to the driver, literally, "This is our situation." And he was like, "Yeah, it's a bit unlucky, really, isn't it?" Pulled up, he went straight in. He then went in and ate all of his lunch because that's what he does.
Oh,
So he got about 40 minutes. We missed half
cool.
the session. He had a nice
Straight in's
session.
good though,
Yeah.
right? Because he's
Well,
been
I think at that point we'd been telling him we were going to the gym now for probably an hour more than we usually would because we were outside going, "Gym over there, gym's over there." So
well,
we
option for next time, start telling him you're going gym an hour before you
Oh, well,
at
we
home.
have the little picture card that says
Oh,
gym. So
you've been social storying.
he knew, yeah, it's one of the few social story images that we do have that we keep on the
Cool.
table. So it was like, he knows it's gym. We told him it's gym. He went out the house on the understanding we're going to the gym. Obviously, and unfortunately, we had a road incident that we couldn't foresee, didn't know about, couldn't plan around, and we couldn't anyway because there's only one way to get to this place. You have to go down this road. And I thought we were being clever by just doing this diversionary tactic, and then it just completely went against us. But yeah, it could have been a lot worse. But I just thought I'd share like sometimes
Yeah.
you have to make a decision because indecision can be bad. And we lost out in terms of time. But I was actually quite impressed that he enjoyed it because he just likes watching traffic go. But because it was loud traffic,
Yeah.
he didn't feel safe enough to leave. But then when I said, "Look, Mummy's going to a new cab," he'd obviously, because we'd been there for half an hour, he absorbed the word cab, mum, and then he just walked down to the end of the barriers to go around into car park straight into the cab, and then we walked straight back into the gym. So again, probably not the biggest challenges we faced, but I was just like, in terms of when you have a child with sensory, a neurotypical child would just be like, "All right, we'll walk around and cross the road, and
Yeah, yeah, yeah,
it's
yeah.
5 minutes out of your day." It ended up taking 40 minutes out of an activity that he
Yeah.
loves doing.
And
So I was
also,
just,
I'm glad we've got through challenges and it wasn't parents' evening.
well, there we go. How about we go
Uh,
for a little break and then you can find out
yeah,
if
I'm
it's
gonna go
free.
find out what's happening with my live challenge right now, and we'll catch you after this. Got a question or want to share a story? Drop us a message on Instagram or email us at NeuroDADverse@gmail.com. Look after yourselves. Welcome back into the NeuroDADverse, where there's a live challenge update. Um, Mabel has not got in the bath. She had heard me, but she hadn't quite realised the time. So as is common, we had some time blindness. I think she was quite annoyed that I'd reminded her, but that's okay. Did one reminder though, so I will see once I've done my wins. So yeah, I mean, it's lots of little wins all encompassed under the umbrella of one particular win.
Love it.
And it's the sleepover at my nan's. Our friends asked us over to go and have dinner on Friday, and we thought opportunity for them to spend some time with my mum, and she doesn't live too far away from us, so we took them over. But that was Friday night, and that's the end of a long week of school.
Yeah, first week back and all that. Yeah.
Well, 2 weeks for my
2
kids.
weeks. Yeah. Oh yeah.
But yeah, and there was just lots of components to it. So they go over. My mum has them sit around a table to eat. Just different vibes from here, and we do table dinner, but not as a rule every day. They'll go around the chip shop and they'll get, or no, they'll either like order some food in. My mum sometimes cooks. It's different every time they do it, but today it was like, yes, before Friday was like, go walk round. Mabel's in charge. Got to look after Oscar, look after each other. Teenagers go to the chip shop, waiting. Lots of transitions, lots of darkness, weather, walking back. They all ate together, and then they had some, mum and Oscar had some like one-on-one time because Mabel went to go do something and get ready or pack stuff. And then Mabel was leaving early to go and get a train into another nearby town to meet some friends that I then later picked her up. And so that meant that Oscar was then picked up by Laura. So there's lots and lots of changes and lots of difference. And it was just like, I spoke to my mum midday Saturday after Oscar got picked up and brought back. It was just like lovely. My mum was just like, yeah, they were great. They had no problems. They took the money to the chip shop. And this is just sounds like, as I'm just relaying it now, it doesn't sound massive, but it is really massive.
To some people, they'll
Like,
go, "What do you mean?
yeah.
They just went to a chip shop."
Yeah,
But to
yeah,
us, it's
yeah. My
it's fraught with
15-year-old,
danger. Yeah.
my 15-year-old and my nearly 14-year-olds walked round the corner 3 to 4 minutes to the chip shop, ordered some chips and fish and chips and sausage and chips, brought it back and ate it with their nana for a sleepover. But it's huge because like the transitions to try to drop Oscar off to be looked after at all in any context has just been a massive challenge across all of our time with Oscar, and maybe with how she's presenting now is it's very kind of emotionally sparky, and that might be neurodiverse, might just be her teenage experience, but actually seeing them kind of be there for each other and actually want to like have a nice time, spend some time with their grandparent is lovely because it means that they say it feels safe and secure, and we're fostering that really nice environment. And also, apparently Oscar went into chat mode when they were sat with my mum, and they ended up just saying, Oscar ended up saying, like, I have good memories of this place. I came here when I was a kid. Like, I sat over there and did Lego. It was nice. I don't like this bit about it actually, but I do like this. Like, and my mum said that it was funny just how
How their brain
how they
processes.
express themselves and what they think to talk about. I think I mentioned before, like it's odd. Like for Oscar in that place, they picked up carrots and ate them before there. It's just odd. It's just odd, but lovely odd. So yeah, just an overarching umbrella of sleepover at Nana's occurred without drama or controversy or stress for any of the three of them involved. And
So
isn't it
let's
nice isn't
yeah.
it nice to chronicle that beautiful thing? Because
Yeah.
it's taken a long time for us to to get here. Like, when they were very little, Mabel would go have sleepovers at my nan's. Sorry, at my mum's, at her nan's. But my mum couldn't have Oscar. She outright said, like, it's too much. I can't. It's too unpredictable.
Yeah.
And as harsh as that was, we kind of were also like, oh yeah, yeah, we know. So a big lovely win.
Oh, that's awesome. No, that's great. And now you get to reap as you say, you get to reap a little bit of benefit of that long road, because now you've done a couple since we've been recording shows or pods. You've had a couple of nights out and they've all gone well. I'm assuming there was no like spontaneous bath time or anything like there was a few times back.
They didn't opt for a
Was fair.
bath. But again, it's not.
You already had a win there. We don't need.
I think
too much.
Interestingly, I think Mabel did. So
Oh, okay, that's good.
so that's why they had that one time. So yeah, just lovely, just nice to see them like enjoying that social time.
Is that so Mabel and Oscar going out to say get food to bring back? Is that something they've done together in the past? Was that new, or is that just something that has happened?
I
but
feel like
can
they've
be
done it.
unpredictable?
They've done it. They've done it in the past before. Sometimes Oscar's refused and Mabel's gone around and done it.
Yeah.
Sometimes if my mum's picked them up to drive them to hers, she'll drop Mabel off, drive Oscar around.
Mm-hmm.
I think what strikes me with this one is that it kind of went off without
A hit, yeah.
like went off without hits. Like Oscar was willing and interested to do it. So
for whatever reason, and we just accept that it's a win.
Yeah.
No, that's
Well,
good.
I think they feel like they want to become a bit more independent because they see Mabel's independence, which is obviously slightly more tricky, but we are slowly taking steps towards that.
No, that's awesome.
So yeah, it's good. It's good stuff. What about you? Please tell me about Parents Evening.
Parents' Evening is
Been hanging
the
on
main
since
thing.
Wednesday.
Yeah, so the surprise to me, I forgot. It was actually in my work diary. I don't understand how I missed it, but
There is no judgment.
but
People
yes,
forget stuff, me included. So
yeah. So Parents' Evening was just super, 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 super nice. Usually, when you're in the position that we find ourselves in, having diagnosed neurodivergent children, a lot of conversations with people aren't always positive, or just put it like that. So to have really positive conversations, especially with educational environments.
do you mean optimistic? Often they're quite pessimistic conversations. Because I don't think I would say I mean, maybe sometimes you have had I've not had negative conversations. I've always had ones that focus on how difficult it is to manage the child, right?
Yeah, well, I suppose.
Which
do you not think that's negative?
I think I receive it negatively, but historically, I think if you're looking at working with a neurodivergent child, you can focus on the difficulties with it, or you can focus on the positive. So I guess it's the optimism, pessimism thing is how I.
No, I suppose that probably is better vocabulary for sure. I suppose it's more that
it's not about what words to use, but I just meant, do you mean the conversations are?
Well, I suppose if you break it down, you have the context of the content of the chat, how they present said content in the chat, body language, voice, etc.
Yeah.
So
you're saying sometimes you've had experiences which have left you feeling negative.
Yeah, well, it's very hard to try and be a positive Polly when someone's standing in front of you or someone passes judgment and they're just like, yeah, so they did this and they did that, and you're just like, yeah, I get it. It's not easy, right? Okay, so you just want to get on with it. A lot of our chats to be honest, is like people are. Oh, I can't remember your phrasing, but you articulated it beautifully some shows ago. People have that, not morbid curiosity as such, I can't remember what word you use, but it's more when you have chats in and around the spectrum and whatever else, it's more people are always looking more at the not so positive stuff then, as opposed to the more positive stuff. So,
Yeah.
like when you're having like EHCP meetings or whatever else, they are
Uh-huh.
generally looking at things from a
Yeah,
negative perspective.
yeah, what I've
When you
said so
do
is that,
assessments, it's all
yeah,
negatively worded.
it's not what's possible here, it's
Yeah, exactly. It's
what
so
barriers
what
are
can't
there.
you do?
Yeah,
Yeah, what can't you
yeah.
do? And I'll be like, well, no, like, or what do you find
Which is
challenging?
important for things like disability, living allowance, and
Mhm, mhm.
for accessing support needs and what the kid actually needs, and whether you need to necessarily remove those things. But equally, let's accentuate the things that they are doing that is incredible.
Yeah, and
More
what I
difficult though. That is much more difficult to do
yeah,
as a professional.
yeah.
That is what the job is.
I just think what was really it was just really nice. The first sentence out of his teacher's mouth was like, Frankie's just doing so well, and you're just like, oh, okay, we've set the tone has been set at a very nice, respectable, high sort
I
of
could
level.
talk about this for hours. I'm not going to cut you again, but tone is everything, right?
Yes. Well, she
At,
was
at
smiling. She was
working,
just like, Frankie's doing really
yeah,
well. We're like,
yeah.
here we go. That's which we
The thing
kind of
is,
do, but it's nice to just have someone go, yeah, and say it happily as
yeah,
opposed to, yeah, he's doing really well. Because that's
yeah,
really, that
yeah.
delivery is really selling it.
I don't want you to come across that you don't really want to be in a room with my kid or kids generally. I want you to be optimistic and be like, this is like, I do this. And don't get me wrong, it's my
Mm.
profession. It is rough. I've had a rough week
Yeah,
in certain classes, but there are certain bits that
make it
are
worth it.
absolutely the joy. So yeah, I think a dog is trying to get in. Maybe it's got a challenge or a win. I'll see if that continues.
Let's go sort that out.
I'll get the pooch in.
That's fair.
Yes,
Um,
definitely wants to get in. Pause
okay.
right there, and we'll get the dog. Yeah, we're fireworky.
Fireworks. Yeah. Hello.
Ludo is here.
Your second
Ah,
appearance on the pod.
Ludo smell bad. Um, this little thing is the dog I have loved most in my life, which is tough because I'm scared of these things. Um,
Oh.
but he's getting me over it, and has got me over it. So okay, you go
Want it,
down there.
you want
You
it to
go
come
down
say
there
hi.
and just chill. I got you. Um, yeah, there's quite a lot going on for a Sunday outside now. So
Firework night, yeah.
they're not. You are not the best of pals, are you? Okay. Where were we? Yes, cool. Being optimistic. Yes, it's great, isn't it? When professionals just be like, "Oh, I'm telling you, my body language and all of the vibes that like and enjoy coming in and working with your child."
Yeah, exactly. We definitely get the vibe for that. We come away going, you know, it feels like she does like the character that Frankie has because
Mhm.
of the way he is. So, um, yeah, she started off with the big guns straight away and pulled out a workbook and she said, "This is Frankie's writing book," and we were both like, "Writing book?" And then she opened up the pages and go, "So we've been doing writing exercises pretty much every day, and Frankie really likes doing them." And then we looked at this little book, and there's loads of yellow highlighted lines, squiggly lines, circles. And then when you look at closer, you see the pencil marks, which is obviously Frankie's handiwork, drawing almost perfect circles in these highlighted circles. I'm like, and the straight lines are really straight. Even the wiggly lines, they go out of the
Nice.
lines. But I'm like, precision wise, my son can obviously hold a pencil and can do it. And I was like, oh my God, he doesn't do this sort of stuff at home. And she said, yeah, he's I think she said he's more excited and engaged to do adult led activities, which is a big part of his EHCP plan, like
Nice.
trying to get him to focus for a set duration and trying to
Yeah.
extend the duration on that. And she said basically we bring a toy, we put the toy in front of his workbook, he walks up, he does it incredibly quickly, takes the toy and goes. And their attitude is if he does the work, he can do what he wants for the rest of the time, which is exactly my attitude to work. I'm like, if I give you 6 hours,
Choose time.
right, yeah.
The well, I remember so much.
So
Oscar was able to maximize his choose time today because,
amazing.
yeah, those types of phrase. That's so good, mate.
Yeah,
I
choose time.
remember these times very well. Like going to a parents' evening, and they're like, cool. So we're just going to show you Oscar's book, and your heart sinks, and then you're like, what?
Mhm.
What is going on? Um, nice. That's good, mate. That's really good.
And she did say, she said a sentence that I was like, "Don't think I'll be heard." She goes, "I must commend you as parents. He's got very good table manners." And I was like, "Well, he spends enough time at a table eating, so you'd like to think." She goes, "No, like he always sits there politely, waiting for his food. He puts his food, he sets all his food out and he eats it." I went, "Well, he eats far better for you at school, but I'll take it." But he does use cutlery better now, so I think obviously he's showing dexterity skills now, holding pencils and stuff like that. And she said, if kids, she said there was an example earlier in the week where I think it must have been the Tuesday actually, if it was Wednesday. She went, one of the kids had left like a pack of biscuits unopened on the side. And I was like, here we go. He's going to have nicked them and run off with them. And she went, he picked them up, brought them round to me to kind of, and I went, that's because he's like giving them to you, go, oh, look, I found some biscuits. No one wants them, thinking you'll give them to him. And she was like, so I opened them and he had them. But it was nice that he basically asked, where all the other kids were, most other kids would just walk up and nick it and go off and do whatever. And I was like, he's, I see that as being clever
Yes.
and manipulative, but it is an amazing because he's like, I really want these. And the
Yeah.
best way that I think I can get them is if I present them like, oh, look what I just found. Can I have them? I know exactly how his body language probably was and how his face would have gone because he does that to us. But I just think that's
Here's
really
the thing,
lovely that
though.
he's connecting with his school.
Also, his school are actively going, here are some things that your kid does
Mm.
that are great,
Yeah.
that you have created an environment for them to do that. Well done. And I think maybe it's a British thing, or we don't give often. I don't think parents get credit for the things that they give their children. Do you know what I mean? In
Mm.
certainly, like in discussing their progress or whatever. Um, and it just makes you like, once you've been told that, like we've had it before with both the kids, you know, about things like politeness, kindness, like those, like showing respect and those types of things.
Mhm.
Um, and even like in the most like difficult times when like Mabel or Oscar have been in disagreements with members of staff, they're like, once they get through to once they get through the emotional part of it, they're reasonable and they will understand. So it's just nice. It's just nice to hear like you've done like you've done that. You've
Yeah.
created the environment where they are.
Thriving.
It's
Yeah.
okay. It's okay. Oh, that's
So,
nice to hear. It's really nice to hear.
and then, yeah, we obviously brought up school photos, and she was like, I was determined that he was going to have a photo this year. I told him we're definitely, and I was like, yeah, no, we appreciate that. Thank you. So, yeah, just lots of moving in the right direction, and let's hope that it continues. But yeah, we
Just
literally had
one.
no idea about the writing.
You just meet one teacher.
We did have a slot to meet his school teacher and one of the management team. I think his role is like the inclusion and behavioural sort of stuff, but he
Okay.
works a lot in the SEM part of the school, and Frankie likes both teachers. But we ended up having basically there was no we got the 10-minute slot with both, sort of one after another, but we ended up talking to his teacher for like half an hour because there was no one else
Yeah.
behind her. She had like an hour before anyone else, and one of the TAs was next to her, and I believe she is
Cool.
the TA that spends more time
Did
with Frankie. So we got to talk to we
did
got loads of.
Frankie go with you?
No, we don't
Okay.
take Frankie along just because we tried to do an after school club, which would have been in the halls, the same where the parents' evening was, and he just doesn't get like when school's done, I'm done at the moment. So he comes home and has his normal routine. My mum was here and takes it.
Oscar is still in that process. School is
Okay.
school and home is home,
Yeah.
and we are perfectly fine with allowing that.
We have gone to his school on a weekend. There was an activity day, a SEND activity day, and it was like a little market, like I say market, like they have lots of stalls and they have activities. And he didn't mind that,
Yeah.
but seeing his face, like when we pulled up and he was not in school uniform, threw him. But then he was comfortable because it was his school. But like once the school day's done, he's like, I want to get on my bus and I want to go home. So
Yeah.
Yeah, so that was
That
just
sounds nice,
really,
mate.
it was just nice to hear that he's doing well and see that he's progressing in things that we had no idea about.
And so did they you don't have to go into the detail if you want, but did they do any kind of uh, like, expected above or below ability bits and bobs?
No, it wasn't quite as
Well done,
analytic.
school.
It
It's
wasn't
okay.
analytical
It's
like
okay.
that.
It's
It
okay.
was just it kind of
Good.
just felt like a celebration of what
Good.
he's doing. They then did bring up Frankie, that one of his sort of more recent stims, which he's done since he's been at school, is sometimes when he gets oversensitized, he does like frosting. Um,
Okay.
and they said he's doing that on a more regular basis, and we have noticed that he does that more at home as well. Particularly, we believe it's when he gets particularly overstimulated before bed. It is something that he will do as the night goes on, and generally when we start to see that, and he does it for a couple of minutes, and then he'll stop and I'll go, "Should we just go to bed?" And then he goes to bed. So I don't know if it's just because he seems to be doing lots of new stuff and he's progressing mentally and physically at school, that he then uses that as his 5-minute release or whatever. So it's just trying to manage that. She said he's not the only child in the class that does it, but we're just letting you know that he's doing it more frequently now, because there was a period in the middle of last year where he hardly did it for a few weeks and he wasn't doing it at home, and it just started again. So that's one of his. I'm really thankful that Frankie is an outward showing stimmy child,
Yeah.
because it's really obvious how he feels and how he's thinking. I would much rather be outwardly shown than internally just being quiet and never knowing what's happening. So I am thankful for that. But that's one of the sort of stims that everyone will notice when he's doing it, and that can make people feel uncomfortable. But we're trying to
Well,
we're trying to
yeah.
work out what it is. We are gonna talk. I think there is like a meet and greet, like send coffee chat thing coming up later this week. Not trying to jump to that segment yet, but there are going to be like medical professionals there, and that's going to be one of our questions, because that does seem to be like one of the main sort of things that he's not progressed out of.
Again, you said a thing like it can make other people feel uncomfortable. And I get if a neurodivergent child is doing that and going up to another child or a person, a stranger, and doing that. But actually, if they just stood there on their own, the
So yeah,
problem
yeah.
the problems with the person, not
Mm.
not necessarily in Frankie's scenario, the problem is the person who's looking at that person doing that.
Yeah, they're
You
applying
know what I
their own
mean?
bias
Like
to it.
it's
Yeah.
yeah. And if it was
He does it on the
if
floor. He doesn't do it, well,
okay.
he occasionally, like, if we're making him a sandwich, like, he got the jam out the thing, he might but it's also, he
Yeah, yeah.
does dance like it, so he can just stand there and
Yeah, of
do this,
course.
and that looks a lot less, well, that looks a lot more innocent then. But so he literally will just lay on
Can
the
I ask
floor,
you
and he'll
can I
just
ask you a question? If Frankie's ever done that while out with you,
oh, he
out in
has.
public,
Yeah, he does. Yeah.
what's your because I don't think Oscar's ever done that in that particular way. Um, but they would kind of put their hands like in
Okay.
in front of their groin area and then just like kind of lean forward and lean up a little bit. Um, I just wondered like because I remember just standing next to Oscar and just dancing
Because that's the
and
sort
like
of
getting
awesome thing that
involved
you
with it.
do. Yeah.
Well, well, they still. I have zero embarrassment when it comes to just helping Oscar. Uh, if anything, I'd like a little bit of that flamboyance and that uh, to come back out of Oscar. To be honest, but yeah, I just wondered, like, because it's like you can make a lot of it into you can read. What's the word I'm looking for? You can remove a lot of the shame just by making it dark, like because that seems
Well, just making it
dancey.
more innocent. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
You know what
I
I
f
mean? Just
but
making it a fun dance thing, right?
yeah, it's something that he does do out, he can do out, and again, that's why we lean towards we think is when he's sort of getting
Mm.
deregulated, and maybe that is something that helps
Um,
regulate how he feels. Or well, it might just be because he's standing, well, not standing, he's generally laying, but he has done it a little bit at the gym in the last few weeks.
Okay.
When we went the Sen Club, I went a few weeks ago, I said on the Saturday, but it took us an hour to get in. It was like a 3-hour event. We spent an hour to get in. The last 20 minutes of that's how I knew we were ready to go. It's kind of an early warning symbol of maybe I need to get
Yeah.
out of here. So initially when he started doing it at home, we wasn't sure about it. We didn't know where it came from. It literally just out of the blue started doing this, and then he stopped. Then he started doing it more. But he used to do it sort of all the time. Now it's a little bit more targeted. Like he in the half term, in the mornings, he would start like 7 o'clock. He would be doing it, watching the telly, and I just put it down to there's loads of noises going on outside, and he was proper like as we call it, Stimmy Jimmy in the living room because he's trying to regulate and trying to process that there's loud noises,
Yeah, of
there's
course.
people in things and this thing. So initially it was a little bit like if he does it in a soft play or something, we're like, oh no, what do we do? But now I say I'm not embarrassment ridden, but I'm a lot
It's
cooler with it
fine.
because I understand
Yeah.
now. Now I'm just like the quickest way because you can't stop him doing it. We don't know how to.
Of course.
Like the school says,
And why
the quickest way for school for him to stop doing it is just let him do it. As long as it's not harming anyone. And I did say, he doesn't do it to people. And they're like, no, no, no. He might like he does it on the floor or the table or I'm like, okay, cool. So he's not hurting anyone. If he starts
Yeah,
getting
yeah.
up to people and then obviously
Yeah.
obviously we don't want it to escalate to that.
Yeah, it's a
But to
fine
us, we
balance, isn't
just
it?
see
It's a
that
fine
that's what he's
balance
doing.
because the world is not made for people who stim,
Yeah.
right?
That's it, yeah.
And so you and there will be certain things that socially are less okay than others or will gather more attention. So, but again, just meet the need. The kid needs to do it. You wouldn't stop a kid like sneezing or blowing their nose, would you? They
Yeah,
need to
that's it.
do that. Their body needs that. So, no, that's good, mate. Well, listen, considering you weren't really sure that you remembered you had one, that sounds like an excellent, excellent thing. What a like just
Yeah.
chronicle that. Like, imagine if I said to you when you sent me that text message, "Oh, going to parents' evening." You should have mentioned that on the pod, but don't worry. When you get there, you'll see some of his handwriting.
Yeah, well. Yeah, that you said
What a
about
just
us. I sent you a message. It was his teacher basically said, "Yeah, really, really excited to talk to you about Frankie tomorrow." And I was like, excited. We was already like, here we go. It's going to
yeah,
be
yeah.
positive. So yeah, and then my other sort of small win that happened yesterday.
More wins,
I
Ludo.
know.
There's more wins. Danny's got more wins.
When it happens, it happens. Then we have a good week.
Chronicle it.
So
Go.
firework night went off quite well. Me and
It
Amy
went
were
off.
out. Yeah, I know, went off. I do try and be clever sometimes. So Nanny and Grandad were having a sleepover. We went out and I was a little bit anxious, like, oh, this might not be the best night to do what we're doing, but we're going to do it. And I said, leave our curtains open, don't block them up. Last year I made the mistake of shutting the windows, then tried to open them to show him and he kept closing them because he's like, no, they stay closed. I said, leave the windows open because we're on a hill. People at the top of the bottom of the hill, when they do fireworks, we can see it really clearly. And thankfully, they were happening. And Frankie said he took both my mum and my dad over to the windows. He was standing there, jumping and probably thrusting and just enjoying that. And when they stopped, he kept taking them over there to be like, no, do it again, like they were in control of it. So yeah, that was just really good. Went off without a hitch, and
Amazing.
I think he's now calmed down. But obviously, this is the last night of expected fireworks. So hopefully, we can just go back to having a quiet, normal week.
Cool. That is good. I'm going to say one little thing about people babysitting neurodivergent kids. And I'm smiling because I don't know if this happened and I don't want you to go dig into it. When you babysit a neurodivergent kid, your grandchild, or if you're listening, people, you're going to coming up against some challenging behaviors. As long as there's not a crisis, right? Just tell the parents that, yeah, it went off okay.
Yeah. There's
Obviously,
enough
if
for us
there's
to
like
worry about. Yeah.
just go, yeah, and then tell that a chronicle. Sorry, I use that word too much. Just chronicle like, oh, it was lovely. We did this lovely thing, or we did this lovely thing, because actually, the challenge you've experienced for that night was a daily thing for those parents, and what they want to know is they want to feel that they can leave their child with you, and that child trusts you.
Exactly. Amen.
Because and I don't think withholding a bit of information, because let's be honest, there would have been some challenges babysitting Frankie, right?
Yeah. They said it took
But
us an hour to get into bed. I went, well, it's firework night. It's going to be. Yeah.
yeah, 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 yeah. But what I'm saying, I don't know. I don't think your folks do this at all. My mum doesn't. My mother-in-law doesn't. On the occasions that my dad and his his partner, she and him have looked after Oscar and pushed them like to the beach or whatever when they were younger and in buggies and stuff. They would never say it, but I think it is common for people to go, oh, yeah, I had a lovely time looking after them, but I don't know how you do it. That type of vibe. And I'm like,
Yeah.
it's easy to do because we're pointing out, actually, it's quite tough to look after your kid, isn't it? Yeah. Please don't do that.
Yeah.
Just tell us the great thing. Obviously, there's a really important thing. Like,
Yeah.
oh, actually, they were stimming in the kitchen. They smashed the glass everywhere, and it got a bit crazy. That's fine. Tell us that thing, but you don't need to necessarily tell us the negatives. Just tell us what was great about it.
Mm.
But
No, I
yeah,
think to follow on from what you're saying there is that is our normal. If someone goes, oh, he does this like frosted thing, I went to make him the jam sandwich. You told me to make him, and he stood at the thing. I was like, yeah, he did it for like 20, 30 seconds. I'm like, yeah, that's cool. But obviously, it's not cool to them, and
yeah.
that's why they say like, I
I
don't know how
don't
to do
mind the
that because
I don't mind the curiosity.
yeah.
It's the oh blimey, he did this like it. Just be curious about it. It's like, do you know he does this, or is that just with
Well,
me?
that's
Or
going
like,
back
because
to
it's
my
building
school
that
thing.
relationship and that knowledge of
Yeah.
what that kid needs. So it's always good. The conversation is always good. I just mean, don't make the parents feel worse that like it's tough. Don't remind them how tough it is.
Yeah, like just reinforce that, oh, maybe it is. But yeah, I think that's exactly going back to what I was saying about the start, like staff and conversations in general with other people. They have more negatively charged because they will go and say something like, I
Mm.
don't know how to do it. I'd be like, all right. So
Yeah,
does
like
that make us superhero parents? Because I just wanted to now. I think my thing now is I just go to like when my friends go, oh, well, I got like 2 hours sleep for like this week because of roadworks, and they go, oh, I don't know how you do it. I don't think I could do that. I just want to go, don't put yourself down like that. Like, I'm sure you'd be a fabulous parent in this situation because you
yeah,
just
yeah,
get
yeah.
used to it. You just don't know what it's like because you don't have to go through it. But it doesn't mean you couldn't do it. By the fact that people can't fathom that they are capable of such things as looking after a neurodivergent child, I do find a little bit sad. But
Yeah, yeah, yeah,
but
yeah.
they are also missing out. They get to go and be social and do things really
Yes.
easy and little activities like go get chips, no bother. But they do miss the moments like
But but
you've
but
got a lovely
equally,
child because,
some people go. Yeah, we're not into comparing, but I sat there with a huge beaming smile on my face most Saturday afternoons, sorry, because they went to the chip shop together and they got chips and then came back and did those 2 transitions, and then they ate dinner all together.
yeah.
So,
Yeah, like 3 weeks later, I'll be
yeah.
like, "Hey, can you believe he actually does, like, perfect circles in pencil at school? Like, what's that about?" Um,
Do
it
you know it's
just
useful
sits
to
with you
go
longer.
it's useful on difficult school days just to go, "Over time, it's progressing really well.
Mm,
Let's remember that."
yeah, amazing.
Nice. Talking of progressing really well, look at me segueing like a pro. Should we think about how we're progressing into next week and join the bit of the podcast, which is the best named ever, and look ahead to the week ahead?
Do you want me to go first?
Yeah, I'm just pausing until you
I've
make that
got
into a. I'm just pausing because I want you to make that into a jingle
I
one
will
day.
I will I will surprise you. I've been a bit busy with work, but I will prioritize trying to get your jingle made.
That's
So,
fine. I'm not asking for it. It's fine.
these are my notes for this segment.
I like that you're busy at work, by the way. That's good news.
No major events expected. That is all I have to say after missing parents'
Unexpected.
evening.
Unexpected.
No major expected events. So tune in next week and find out how wrong I was again.
Well, not to be too much of a boring mirror. Um, no major events expected.
What a
I
lovely place to
have to
be.
run an open. I don't run it. I am doing a sixth form open evening,
Okay.
and on that, and Laura is on a work day, so there'll be some child independence with their mother-in-law here as well. And I am now seeing on that date. So there's a couple of mornings where Mabel's school, there's some training, some inset. So there'll be some independence to get up and get to school. Um, we got some friends coming on the Saturday for lunch. Yeah, uneventful. Don't know actually if that's just got me thinking that perhaps Mabel needs to come to my work so I can do the open evening. She's got to start looking at sixth forms
Ah,
and post 16. She's in year 10. So, uh, yeah. Yeah. But so nice. Yeah. No real things that I'm thinking, "Oh, got to really make sure we navigate that." Um,
thanks.
but yeah, I'm sure things will pop up and come along. I'll text you in the middle of the week going, Ashley, got to do this. And you'll go, oh, I did mention that on the pod. It'll be my turn to forget what I'm doing. Yeah, it's good stuff. We had quite the funky bath time, if we get into bath time scores.
Go for it.
It was just kind of it went weird tag team. Oscar asked for me, Oscar asked for mum, but then asked us both to not be there. It was a very odd scenario. I think Oscar's kind of like struggling with the independence and I've said before, like us checking that it's right, and then if it's not right, I'll give my approach is to give some guidance to get them to do it, and Laura's approach is like, well, I'll do it for you. Oscar kind of moves between wanting to do it independently and getting someone to do it for them. They're very good at performing and presenting upset now. So sometimes there was definitely time in this bath time where it was like, oh, they're really deregulated, they're really upset, they're really crying, and I'd tag in, and Laura would tag me in, or I would tag them in, and they would be particularly fine. I don't think it's manipulative. I just think Oscar is struggling with the different ways in which all of their life, they've had bath time kind of done and had support, and now they are equally wanting to do it on their own, and they like the kind of comfort. So, yeah, we're just kind of navigating that, but it was uh, a bit more complicated, a bit longer than we had got it down to.
Mhm.
So again, I'm going, but much better than the long, like a year ago. Thinking about what bath time was like we are much improved. So we are continuing on our 3 sixes in a row.
Oh, okay. That's amazing. That's. I was just say, you say for you, I suppose. Well, when we first started, it wasn't bath time. It was like bath event. It was it's like a 3 or 4 hour.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Um,
So
and an event would also be like telling you it's going to happen, dealing with that frustration and upset and annoyance. So yeah, I told them before. And interestingly, on my challenge from earlier, I just received a message that just says 3 words from Mabel about their bath. I'm out now. So,
result.
so
You've just reclaimed a bit of time for your evening, sir.
well, I'm about to go straight after this pod and go into bath event. So we'll wait and see. I am always in the back of my mind. I'm just thinking, how much do I talk about how positive the bath has been because I'm about to go do it. No,
Don't
so
want to
yeah, we'll
jinx
see.
it.
How has bath been for you?
So Amy did the last bath,
Mhm.
which was Friday night, and she said, "Yeah, it's the standard sort of bath time report that I get.
It
Yeah, he was
happened.
good. He got in. He did everything I asked. Washed his hair. Da 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 da. I'll give it an 8.5." And I went, "Oh, Aim, I think you might have just killed the segment off on the pod because I'm pretty sure that's now 6 or 7 eights in a row for us. But we're in a really good bath place. Is it?
Um,
It's just
no, I'm just looking at the
it's not official until
1,
you put it
2,
on the
3,
chart."
4, 5, 6. Um,
The suspense.
Hold
Everyone
on.
listening, they're like pausing, eating their
Sorry, yeah,
breakfast
sorry.
and drinking their drinks.
Okay. No, that's technically there's a number, but then there's brackets, and it's like optimistic, and then a different number. So that's why you've given it a number, and I've gone, hang on a minute, what do you think about this? Okay, so from the start of August, when you didn't have a bath time that week,
Yep.
it was an
Okay.
NA. There's nothing below an 8. That's 3 months of 8s and above,
So for half the pod now.
including 2 10s. 50% 8s.
Wow. Okay. Maybe I need to
To
tell
be
Amy to
fair,
like really look at the criteria of an 8 here, because maybe me and her have got slightly different criteria.
yeah, well, I will say throughout August, something happens where there's a big upturn in numbers. Can you guess what those things are?
Do you know them, or are you just asking me? Is
Yeah, I
this a
know
quiz?
them. What happened? What happens mid to early listeners? What do you think? Mid to late August,
For
start of
me, is this
September.
just me?
No, for both of us. So there's a correlation.
The other half start participating more in bath event?
Yeah, Laura and Amy both get involved. You get a 10 once Amy's involved. Laura comes in and gets a 9, and then stuff starts to improve for you guys. You don't drop below an 8. We get good until about 3 or 4 weeks ago, and we're just kind of dropping into 6s. So there you go. There's your I'm not an analyst of, what is it, quarterlies. That's your quarterly data on the bath. It's a data.
Okay.
It's a deep dive into the data on the baths. Yeah, I'm pleased with that.
Deep dive. Top
There we
drawer.
go. Top
See?
drawer.
I did have one rebuttal question to but so now that, in an unusual twist of events on your bath time routines, Mabel has now gone first. Does Mabel ever get upset, anxious, annoyed at how long bath time events used to take? Is she now enjoying that she can get in the bath quicker because it was getting quicker, or is it just not applicable because they're off doing their own
Well, I
thing?
didn't get an
until you tell?
emoji. I didn't get an emoji on the text, so I'm unable to ascertain Mabel's. I think Mabel very much has that time scenario is either happening now or it's not happening.
Yeah, okay.
So if
fine.
I said you're going in the bath at 7 and it was
That's
still there
Frank.
at 8, Mabel wouldn't be bothered at all.
Yeah.
It's like it's happening now or it's not happening now.
Mhm.
I just wanted Mabel to try and go first, just because they had football today, and it seemed like, oh, you've come down, you've eaten your dinner early.
Yeah,
Cool.
you're running
Why don't I
early.
just suggest,
Mm.
why don't you go try to do this?
Okay.
What will happen is that it will, the bathroom will look like a tsunami has hit it. And therefore, when I ask Oscar, because I get Oscar to go in and turn it on and put the plug in, Oscar will have, potentially not, but will have a reaction to the fact that there is a couple of towels on the floor, or any number of products half squeezed in the bathtub and stuff like that. So no judgment or shame.
Mm.
Of
Mhm.
course, it looks like that.
Someone
You had
just
to
used
get
it.
out of it.
Yeah.
Someone just used it, and it looks very similar to when Laura sometimes using it, because you have to get out of that scenario because it's a very heat overwhelming. You have to get out and get yourself sorted. You'll tidy it up later.
Yeah.
You will forget about that. That's not a problem. It's all good. So yeah, we'll go and do that. This was lovely today, buddy. Always nice
Enjoyed it as always.
Always nice to chat about how we are feeling about certain things. I look forward to doing the same next week. We're on for a Sunday pod record again. Bye. Say bye, Ludo.
Bye, Ludo.
Oh, Ludo still smell bad. See you later.
Ludo bath event.
No, that now I don't get involved in those.
Right. Okay. Traumatic.
It's just
Different.
it's just a whole event that does get done like a job, but maybe Laura, maybe I'll interview Laura about it. She can tell you what happened. Like, it's definitely one of those, don't interrupt this person doing this job at that point.
Fair
You're
enough.
lovely, aren't you, Ludo? But we don't like Bath. Oh, yeah.
I heard that.
Too
yeah.
many fireworks.
Okay. Well, I'll let you guys go and try and enjoy the rest of your evening and win the week.
Yes. And if you enjoy this podcast, you can follow us on Instagram and TikTok. You can get in touch if you'd like to talk about what you think are the wins of this podcast and what are the challenges of listening to it by messaging NeuroDADverse at gmail.com. And thanks, Ludo. And yes, we will speak to you soon. And remember our 3 things that Dan is going to tell you right now.
You are enough. You're doing great, and you're certainly not alone. Please leave us a review on any of the platforms you listen to us. And if there is a platform we're not on that you would like to hear us on, get in touch and I'll try and sort that out.
Have great weeks, everyone. See you later.
See you later.
That's about it for the NeuroDADverse. We'll be back next week.
If you laughed, cried, or nodded in tired agreement, don't forget to follow us and leave a review. It helps more parents find us.
Just remember, you're doing great.
You are enough, and you are definitely not alone.
Got a question or want to share a story? Drop us a message on Instagram or email us at neurodadverse@gmail.com. Look after yourselves.